All right, we're live. Hey, both of you. Both of you.
Hi, witchlings. It has been. Oops, I'm gonna switch this. Oh crap! I hit the wrong button. Is anybody surprised?
Yay.
All right. Oh, screw it. You can kind of see us. Nope, not really.
Maybe.
There we go. Kat is here. She's over there. You can't see her on the phone. Facebook can't see her, but YouTube can. Hi, everybody.
Perfect view.
I know.
Dogs.
I know. The puppies are playing. So it's rather adorable. Even Sarge is getting in on it today. Oh, you guys can't see Sarge. Sarge is itty bitty, but he's trying. Welcome to the chaos that is my life.
You get him.
So to explain what is going on here.
Luna's being the alpha bitch.
Well, yes.
Teaching everyone the lesson.
The oddball is my foster dog. We are foster. Oh, he's all wet. She's slobbering on him. He belongs to my brother, and we are fostering him. And he has been here for since Thursday. Oh no, Thursday, Friday of last week, and they are finally getting used to each other and starting to play. And oh, he's found a new friend.
Perfect.
Yes, and the reason we are late today is I had to take him on a very long walk so that he would, wear out a little bit and be ready for dinner. Down. Good boy.
Sit.
Set.
Sit.
Set. S-E-T, and like you're holding a tree. Set.
Sit. Set.
Plant your ass.
Down.
Like he listens.
Like Mika.
He is going to puppy boot camp soon. And he will learn to listen. He is doing really well. The only person in the house who is not fond of him yet is the furry overlord. Because, well, he is from Alaska. And he has never met an indoor cat. So he is curious about the cat. And, as you can tell, he's part husky. And has one hell of a prey drive. And he likes to try to chase Fuzzbutt. Fuzzbutt doesn't like being chased. So, here's to the dumb dog learning. Mm-hmm. He's not a dumb dog. But, oh, and there goes Sergeant getting in on the action again. So, moving on. Today's topic, I stumbled on, almost literally, while we were out walking. Self-care and self-compassion. Self-compassion especially. We all know, for those of you who, pop in like, hello.
Both of you.
For those of you who watch my daily draws, which I apologize for today's having been skipped. I'm just so low on spoons.
It's a daylight saving.
That, and it's been a stressful week. For those of you who watch my daily draw, you are familiar with these, my self-compassion cards. I draw one of these every day at the end of my daily draw, and we have our self-compassion action. Yesterday's was a thankless job, and it said, maybe no one else will show their appreciation, but you still can. Take just a moment and write yourself a note of gratitude for something you did for you. Okay. And, they're all similar things like that. There is one of them in here that every time I see it, I bust out laughing because it sounds like a fucking infomercial. It does. I've got to find it because it is. I love it. Yes.
He's like, what is that?
Yep. But, self-compassion and self-care are kind of important in yoga.
Yes.
Because yoga is a form of self-care, in my opinion. And, being compassionate to yourself the same way you would be to a friend or any loved one. I didn't stop to think, is my microphone is working. A little bit of paranoid. I'm sure it is, as long as you turned it on and it's green.
Is it turned on? I forgot this one was turned on. Well, how do I tell if it's turned on?
There's a green light that'll push and hold the button until the green light turns on. There it is. There we go.
So she handed it to me, turned on, so it didn't.
Normally, I do turn it on before I hand it to you. But if you are compassionate towards yourself, you're gonna
Got it.
It actually improves your yoga practice because, and this goes along with something from. Trying to remember. I want to say she's still Chubby Lotus. She posted about. She has been posting about. Whoa! Hello, children. She has been posting about the fact that, the asanas are not. The purpose of the asana is not to get the pose perfect.
Mm-hmm.
It's about the feeling in the pose and the expression of the pose. Sarge. And that is where self-compassion plays into it. Because honestly, and I am guilty of this myself, I worry that I'm not doing the pose correctly.
I do that all the time because I'm still not. I mean, especially when I do your classes, I'm like, I can't hold my leg like that. So I have to,
modify. And you know what? That's what props are for.
Mm-hmm.
And props, so many people, especially more advanced practitioners, will have the opinion that props are cheating.
Yeah.
Whereas,
where I think
Iyengar, BKS Iyengar, if I am remembering correctly, was all about the props.
Mm-hmm.
He is the one who brought props into yoga, and his way of thinking was say your yoga block, which my blocks are hiding behind. My blocks are hiding there. Well, all the block does is bring the floor up to you, or a chair. It brings the floor to you.
It's an extension of either, your body.
Yeah. And, if you need help, if you can't reach your foot to, do a stretch, that's what a strap is for.
I need one of those.
Okay. I have two, exactly the same color. I just have to find the other one. It's running around this room somewhere. But, you just take your strap, you wrap it around your foot, and therefore you can stretch. You don't have to, overstretch your arms.
It's helpful because I have alligator arms.
So, BKS Iyengar was all about the props.
I mean, for me, it's hard to do those types of stresses. So, especially if I wear baggy clothing, doing yoga, it helps to grab.
Again, we are having issues with Sarge and the new pupper. There it is. He is getting very, very stressed, and he has not eaten anything but his wet food in 3 or 4 days, and his tummy is upset, so he is having very, very loose bowel movements. Whoa! That was not a happy bark. We're gonna settle down now.
Good job, Luna. You told him off.
Yes. You put him in his place. You settle. So
stop being a puppy.
And Daddy just came and showed me his dinner plate and said he didn't eat all of his dinner. So we're a little concerned about the little guy, but we also know that we went through similar behavior when Big Sister moved in. But back to yoga. There is no shame in needing props. There is absolutely no shame, again, in needing to modify a pose. Take child's pose. Most people learn, I'm going to have to demonstrate a little bit. Oh, Okay.
Hey, I need you to go down. I know you're happy to see me.
Scooch puppies.
I know you're happy to
Okay.
see me.
Let's see if I can do this without getting too much in the way. All right. So, okay. Over here? Nope. This side. There we go. Haha. Hi, tookers. So, most people, well, hello. Learn child's pose with your knees together. And then you get down on the floor, which he's not going to let me. But, okay, scoot, baby. Scoot, 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 scoot. There we go. So, most people do child's pose this way.
Mm-hmm.
Well, for someone like you and me, what's the problem doing child's pose that way? You got the gut in the way, huh? So, there's an easy modification for that. Spread your knees out, comfortable distance apart. That gives you space for your tummy, and then you can get down into child's pose. Hi! Oh, it's going to be fun trying to do yoga with you in the house. Okay, Auntie Dad has to get up.
My turn. I want to do yoga.
Yeah.
I want to do yoga.
So, there are ways to modify. And, as a yoga instructor, it is my job to tell my students that it's okay to modify. It's okay if you need to, pick your gut up and shove it out of the way. Or if you're in a pose where the boobs get in the way, remind your bigger busted classmates to, you might need to adjust your boob to get your arm through, such as thread the needle. This is what I had issues with. Thread the needle, you got one arm up here, you take the other arm under you, you're reaching. Yeah, boobs get in the way there. Yeah. So you tell your students, okay, pick the boob, pick the girls up, and slide your arm under them. So these are all ways of being compassionate towards yourself, because so many of us have that thought of, oh, my body is just horrible and fat and ugly and I can't do it right, so I'm a failure. I know you have those thoughts. I do. Whereas instead of thinking, oh God, I'm such a failure, I can't do this because I'm fat and dumb, show yourself some grace, give yourself some compassion, and say, okay, what do I need to do to be able to fit into this properly? Really. And self-care. We are still in a pandemic because COVID has not gone away. It's never going away. It's not as bad as it was 3 years ago.
It's just going to be the new flu shot.
Yep. Yep. And because of this, self-care is vitally important, especially for wives and mothers. Women in particular, but especially wives and mothers, because we as feminine people, I don't care if you're a trans woman, cis woman, wife, mother, doesn't matter, first daughter, oldest daughters, we are the ones expected, and it is expected that we are going to take care of everyone around us, whether we want to or not. How fucked up is that?
Trust me, my grandparents are at that age now. Like
my non-biological daughter, she and her partner in crime have been spending a lot of time with her younger brother for numerous reasons that I'm not going to violate their privacy for. And her partner does not understand why she takes such an active role in her brother's life. And he does not grok that he was her first child.
Yeah.
Because she was so heavily parentified. She has basically raised him.
Yep, no, I get that too.
You are the same way with your sister.
Yeah, my boyfriend's always like, well, you need to do this. I'm like, you know how hard it is? Like, you have this relationship with your brother and sister. I'm basically the mother to my sister.
Yep.
So I can't just say no to her because she doesn't have that parental figure in our lives. So I was the one who did this. I was the one who, granted, I spoiled her because, she didn't have that.
Yes.
So,
I have similar. My mother sucked. There's a reason that when I discuss her on the internet, I refer to her as the incubator. My brother was both parents to me most of the time because there were 6 of us in the family. My dad worked slightly over minimum wage. So he worked sun up to sundown. He was gone before I got up in the morning and came home after I went to bed at night. I was a 6th grader before I really knew my dad. That sucked. But my brother, the youngest of the boys, stepped up and did most of the parenting for me. He went to parent-teacher conferences. He was at my first band concert. He supervised a couple of field trips. He would sign my parental permission forms for school. Granted, everybody in the school district knew it was him signing it, but because he's junior, he was signing dad's name, so nobody cared. So but still, we as wives, moms, caregiver, and that parental figure, we are the ones expected to care for everybody. And what do we do in that case? We put our own self-care at the bottom of the list. That is the worst possible thing you can do. And I am learning that now. I am 46 years old, and I am finally learning that.
It took me till I was 18, so...
You cannot pour from an empty cup. There is a reason that when you're on an airplane, they tell you put your own oxygen mask on first, then help your favorite child. There have been a few flight attendants who have said, put your mask on, then pick your favorite child and put theirs on next. Because, they're the one, that way they survive. I love some of the flight attendant speeches, or security speeches,
See, that's the thing, is that like, picking your favorite child, right? I'm always the one where, like, okay, we either have to pick your mom or your sister. That's my situation, right? Like, my mom won't do that. She'd be like, you pick for me, and you have to pick me. And I'm just like, I'm picking my sister. Because,
you've had your life. You gave birth to us. It's our turn to live.
Yeah.
Whereas, sidetrack, and I apologize, but this is Slight Squirrel. That is an entirely Western way of thinking. As opposed to, I want to say it's Japanese.
I think it's Chinese. Both.
It could be.
It's the
Asian culture.
No, it's the Asian culture, because
I think it's also Indian. So yes.
And no, I know. I grew up with
Yeah, I forget that India is part of Asian culture too, but Asian culture.
Eastern, you gotta say Eastern.
Eastern culture. They revere their elders, and they would save the elders over the children because they want to preserve that knowledge and the history that's in those brains. Whereas the kids, hey, you can go on to have more kids. Whew, that one just. While I understand where they're coming from there, it's like, but I already love this one. But yes.
And you joke that, like, us, Gen Z and millennials are going to be like, well, we're just going to throw you in a home and never visit you, Like...
No, that was Gen X. Gen X started that. I promise you. Because we were the ones, because we were so free range, and basically we were kicked out as soon as we finished breakfast in the morning. We were locked out until it was time for dinner. I mean, come on. There were public service announcements that would run at like 10:30, 11 o'clock at night.
Yeah.
Do you know where your children are?
No.
Because parents flat out had to be reminded, hey, are your kids at home yet?
Yeah, no, my dad's like, my dad and my mom were born like right in between boomers and Gen X. So there is a lot of, you can tell there's similarities in both. And so my dad will always tell, like, I would go in the woods, with my friends and spend hours playing, like, Lord of the Rings,
I'm pointing to the living room where my husband is.
Yeah.
He was very much a free-range child.
Yeah, no. And then
he laments the fact that, my kids, our kids, grew up in front of a screen. Luna, those are my toes, baby. But we as women are taught, put everybody else first. And as a healer, I am a healer. That is why I went into yoga. I am trying so hard to teach, especially women, that how wrong that is. Because putting everybody else first and depleting yourself over and over and over, you're just working yourself into an early grave. You have to take care of yourself.
Especially for people who, again, are like me, who started doing that at the age of 6.
Yes.
So, like, between 6 and, like,
Yep.
16, I had the first 10 years of my life.
Yeah.
And I've been dedicated to taking care of other people.
Yep.
And I never learned the self-care.
Yep.
Till I was 18. And
Yep.
that caused relationship problems. Family problems.
Yep.
Even like problems I have created with myself,
Because you don't have the boundaries.
Yeah.
You were never taught how to set boundaries and say, no, I need this time for me to recharge me.
To my dad. Yellow.
But that was my ringtone on my phone too, so I'm like, oh my god, is my phone ringing?
We have the same ringtone. Okay.
You're still mic'd.
I'm mic'd. Okay.
Toss. There we go. But yeah, we are taught to put everyone else first and just deplete ourselves. And then we have nothing left. And then when we crash, everybody gets mad at us. Because now all of a sudden we're incapable of helping anybody else. And we are forced to say no. Or in some extreme cases, we've pushed ourselves far enough.
It could have been a text.
In some cases, we've pushed ourselves hard enough that we're not just forced to say no, but we land ourselves in the hospital because we're exhausted or, we have neglected our own health to the point that it's really bad. My incubator actually had something similar to that. I got bronchitis or pneumonia really bad when I was 5 or 6.
Yeah.
And she was literally staying up all night to make sure I was still breathing.
Yeah.
It was that bad. And I wasn't sleeping much. And finally, she finally got around to taking me to the doctor. Holy shit. And he looked at her and said, if you don't get some sleep, I'm going to admit you to the hospital for exhaustion. So he put me on a tranquilizer and antibiotics and told my mom that if she didn't get some sleep, by the time she brought me back 72 hours later, he was giving her a tranquilizer and admitting her. So I got the tranquilizer that night, and we learned I'm allergic to that particular tranquilizer because it did not settle me down. It spun me up. I was wired for like 14 hours. You know those twirly ribbons that you'd use for ribbon gymnastics? One of my brothers had gotten me one, and they had hidden it from me because they had planned on giving it to me as a surprise later. Yeah. Oh no, it was given to me that night. My mom's like, oh dear God, please just give it to her. She needs to run off some of this energy. And I clearly remember running around the living room twirling the damn thing. But yeah, self-care. We have to take care of ourselves, or else our body is going to force us to.
That reminds me. Someone in the store today had a little kid, and the little kid like chucking rings, and then eventually, like they handed the kid their keys, and the kid's like, "Oh, keys!"
Oh shit! Just so y'all know, she was my key holder when I worked at Torrid. That's how we started this whole mess. She still works there. Bitching at the other dogs because they were, in the hallway and roughhousing. So he has taken up his big brother's refereeing. Sorry. Sarge was refereeing the big dogs, and Daddy asked. But yeah, what are some of our favorite ways of practicing self-care? I can tell you mine off the top of my head.
Massage.
Coffee.
Massages.
Massages are a good way. A bubble bath. But see, self-care isn't always just manicures and facials.
Edibles.
That's another good one. Another really, really, really good form of self-care that I am working on. Journaling. In case it's backwards, I'll show you guys. It's backwards. It's a self-love workbook for women.
Mm-hmm.
Really self-doubt, build self-compassion, and embrace who you are. It's a really nice workbook. Oh, look, a page that I've actually done some on. It has a bunch of worksheets in it. And, this was the self-compassion quiz too. So, I was really bad. Ooh, I scored at the bottom.
I love to see it.
Yeah, go ahead. And then I have tons. I am a journal person. I love journaling. This is one that I have been trying to work through again and, forgot about. This is a daily mindfulness journal, and it is literally the mindfulness journal. I got this off of Amazon, and when I got it, I'm like, holy shit, it's a whole lot bigger than I was expecting it to be. And it has writing prompts in it. Oh, this is cool. I just opened it to week 4, which I'm not to yet. I think I'm in the middle of week. I'm at like week 2, week 3. There we go. So day 1 of week 4, which is working on your daily routine. This morning I awaken and pay full attention to my morning activities. My mind is not elsewhere thinking about the day ahead. It is here now, fully engaged in my physical preparations for the day. This is what I noticed. And you're supposed to write down what you noticed in your body as you're prepping for the day. So basically, basic mindfulness. And I really, mindfulness is big in so many things that I do. I am working through a DBT class, which for those who do not know, DBT is dialectical behavioral therapy, or dialectic behavioral therapy. It is used for trauma survivors primarily, and one of the big bases of it is mindfulness. And mindfulness, in a nutshell, is just being present, not worrying about the past, not speculating about the future, focusing on what you are doing right here, right now. And where else do we practice mindfulness? In yoga. Mindfulness is, the breath. And what do you do in yoga? You focus on your breath and the ouch! And the asana. Somebody has big feet and does not always think about where she is putting them. And she likes to stomp on my toes. Silly girl. And then meditation. Mindfulness is a form of meditation. So, mindfulness and MBSR, mindfulness-based stress reduction. So mindfulness is a big part of my life.
Both of you, calm down.
They're being fairly calm. They're just, wanting to love on each other right here in the smallest space in the entire room.
She's just provoking him.
Oh, she does. She loves to. She's,
I know you want to do one number 2.
This is their first time meeting, so he's getting used to a new friend. He likes you.
Can I take him home?
No, Mike would be very upset, so would Jess.
No, yeah, no, that's what my dad said. He's like, we foster him. We can't get. We have to give him back.
Yep.
And I'm just like, but he's perfect.
He's adorable.
He's perfect. And I'm covered in hair now.
Yep. So, but self-care, everybody thinks when they hear self-care, I'm doing a self-care day. So I'm going to do a bubble bath, and I'm going to put a mask on while I'm in the bubble bath. And then when I get out of the bubble bath, I'm going to go to the salon and get a mani and pedi, and then I'm going to go do my hair, and that's my and then I'm going to get a massage afterwards. That's my self-care day. There is so much more to self-care than just pampering yourself. Yes, that is an important part of it, but you also have to do the hard work of self-care, the shadow work, the therapy, the medical. I mean, okay, I performed self-care by going to the doctor today. That's self-care.
And also knowing your faults too.
Yes, and being compliant with your medications. That's self-care. That's one that I struggle with. Morning meds. I do okay with my bedtime meds. Morning meds, I'm still since October. My surgery, when I had my feet done, I had to stop taking my meds for a couple of days. And then my allergy testing on Halloween, I couldn't take my allergy meds for a couple of Ever since then, I got out of the routine of taking them in the morning, and I have yet to get back to it. So, you know how I mentioned that card that I laugh every time I read it? It sounds like a fucking infomercial. Here it is. Do you suffer sometimes, want to be happy, but don't always know how to make that happen? Congratulations! You've just discovered you have something in common with every other person across the world and throughout history. I have to be careful how I read it, and I was trying to this time. Because if I don't, I will read it in that stupid TV announcer voice. Because come on, tell me it doesn't beg to be read in TV announcer voice.
Do you suffer from back pain?
If you do, you may be entitled to compensation.
Have you or a loved one taken, blah, blah, blah?
Yep.
If so.
Did you go through Navy boot camp? If so, you may qualify for compensation for AFFF. I don't remember if I was exposed to AFFF, but aqueous fire fighting foam. Shit's nasty, and I think they finally stopped using it because they discovered it was causing cancer or some such. But yeah, self-care, self-compassion.
Someone loves this self-care.
Yes. Oh, he's a good boy. These are integral parts of yoga. Well, like humanity, really, but especially yoga. Because if you are not being compassionate towards yourself, well, ahimsa. Do no harm. If you are not being compassionate towards yourself, you are inevitably causing harm to yourself. Therefore, you are not following the 8 limbs of yoga. And then, if you're Wiccan and you are, not practicing self-compassion and self-care, again, you're harming yourself. And what does the Wiccan read boil down to? What 2 words does it boil down to? Harm none. That includes yourself, ladies and germs. So, self-compassion and self-care. And also, if people were more compassionate towards themselves and others and took better care of themselves, this world would be a much, much happier place. If we would show not only self-compassion, but just compassion in general, and acknowledge that other people have thoughts and feelings. And, it's not just a faceless name on the other side of a computer screen or a phone screen. Things would be so much better. There would be a lot less discord in the world. Because that a lot of our strife at least online, comes from the fact that so many people are forgetting that, just because I'm looking at a computer screen and responding to words on a screen, that there isn't another person on the other end. My munchkin was over the other day,
Mhm.
and I was looking at stuff online, and I don't remember where I was, but I think it was a reel, and it was discussing names.
Someone said ramen.
I know that. That's Jenny. I had to think for a minute because I wanted to say it was Kev, but no, that's Jenny. Ramen, huh? There was someone who had commented because they were talking names,
Mhm.
and her name was Terpsichore.
Okay.
Okay? One of
Mhm.
the, not, yes, we do need to remember that there are people on the other side. This woman's name was Terpsichore.
Mhm.
Which is one of the Greek muses?
Mhm.
Muses,
Okay.
yes. Okay, I got the right person. Hi, Jenny. Love ya. And this woman commented back to her saying, "Oh my God, I would just call you Miss whatever her last name was, because if I saw your name, it's too hard to pronounce and even harder to spell." And I'm like, obviously you are American, more than likely Christian,
Mhm.
and you have never studied the arts.
Mhm.
And she came back to me calling me racist, I pointed out in my comment that that saying that someone's name, okay, that makes sense. Yes, okay. It's the Flying Spaghetti Monster's version of amen. Thank you. As soon as you said the Flying Spaghetti Monster. But I commented to this woman that saying that someone's name
Mhm.
is too difficult to pronounce,
Mhm.
especially if you're a white person,
Mhm.
is insanely racist.
Mhm.
And so she decided to go look at my profile and say that I needed to, check myself because as a veteran, she has traveled all over the world and blah, 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 blah. And no, and she's college educated, but no, she's never studied the arts or that.
Mhm.
And, I was the one being racist, and she's not some Bible thumping hillbilly. And I'm like, I didn't say you were racist. I just said that what you said was incredibly racist,
Mhm.
especially to people of color.
Mhm.
And she's like, well, how many people of color do you know of that have had that happen? And I'm like, okay, so you checked out my profile, but obviously you didn't look at my friends list
Mhm.
to see the number of Native Americans, Black people, and other just non American white people that I have.
Mhm.
My high school was predominantly Russian and Mexican. And I remember clearly in English class, my sophomore year, one of the guys being teased by someone in the class saying, "Oh, just smash your hands on the keyboard and you'll come up with his last name." Uh huh. How fucking racist and rude is that? And I mean, the woman's name that she was responding to is Terpsichore.
Mhm.
Terpsichore. Terpsichore. Exactly how it's spelled.
Mhm.
It's Greek. She's white. And this bitch was saying it was too hard to spell and pronounce. She's one of the Greek muses.
Mhm. Well, even if it's hard for some people, I mean, like, you at least try.
Exactly.
I mean, I know I have a speech impediment, so especially if I'm working at
Oh, yeah.
Starbucks, it was really hard. Like, I don't mean to butcher your name.
I will butcher some of the goddesses' name in my, goddess of the day. Especially some of the Aztec goddesses. Oh dear Lord,
Mhm.
do I butcher the Aztec goddesses?
Mhm.
But okay, the new Doctor
Mhm.
Who. Nishutigatwa, I think is how his name is pronounced. But you look at it and it's like, I have literally saved the meme. I have screenshotted the meme that tells you how to pronounce his name because of how it is spelled. His last name, the Gatwa, that's not a problem. But, a lot of particularly African ethnic names. Yes, thank you, Jenny. African ethnic names, Gaelic names, Greek names. And I mean, Gaelic, they're going to be white more than likely.
You'd be interesting. Everyone keeps mispronouncing my sister's name.
I know your sister's name. I also know how she got her name, which makes it even.
Now imagine if we actually named her the first name that I wanted. Pocahontas.
That would have been bad because you guys are not quite that native. I know. But yeah.
No, oh my God. Well, that was my favorite princess.
I know. That makes sense.
But oh my God. Not only my family heritage now, like that makes more sense now.
It does. But how could they fuck up pronouncing Ariel?
Ariel.
Okay.
Arlen. And it was, no. It doesn't go by Ariel anymore, so.
That makes sense. I was Diana for years. You know how much I got called Deanna?
Oh no, I know people that say your name Dylan.
Yes. I'm used to that now. I'm just like, it's Dylan, but yeah, whatever. I'm used to it.
See, I know you don't like Diana, but I love Diana because, I think of,
one of the reasons I changed it was she was the one who picked that name, and then after I changed it, I realized that was her nickname for me. So
that's one of the reasons why I'm going by Catherine is because it's. But anyway, but also because my dad says that I'm named after Catherine the Great.
Nice.
So I want to,
that's
embottle
cool.
The great,
Yes, part. She was a very good leader. Oh dear Lord, that is horrible. I don't know if Jenny knows this particular Spoonie friend of mine. I have a Spoonie friend who has transitioned and is now a trans woman. Her current name, her trans name is Maeve. Her dead name was Dave or David. She called her doctor's office the other day, and the PA at the doctor's office called her Mavid. And she's like, oh my God.
Dude, during an interview, someone called me Katie. I'm like,
oh hell no, you are not a Katie.
No, okay. The reason why I don't go by Katie is I had bullies in my school named Katie.
And that makes sense. But you're not a Katie anyway.
You already have a Katie.
Yeah. But yeah. Maeve thankfully died laughing about it because she's cool and, still kind of early on, but far enough into transition that the dead name isn't quite so traumatic. But the poor nurse was just falling all over herself, apologizing. And it's like, you're okay. You've been my doctor's PA forever, so you've known me by both names. I can forgive you. But yeah, that one was good. It's not as bad as the Munchkin. I know we have seriously sidetracked. This will be my last, off-track story. The Munchkin, my own child. I named my child from my 2 female best friends, or 2 of my 3 female best friends. So their name was Christina, Helene, Renee. Their stepmother was one of those best friends, Christina, Helene. We were a military family. TRICARE and the government, but TRICARE especially, could not tell them apart half the time. So my ex-husband would get letters from TRICARE that were supposed to come to me for the Munchkin, and I would get letters that were supposed to go to the ex-husband for their stepmother. So the Munchkin's like, yeah, no. When they came out as non-binary, they're like, yeah, nope. Mom, would you mind if I changed my name? And I'm like, nope. you're fine. I understand. And they're like, okay. And when they chose their name, because we thought it was funny, or they thought it was cute that their name was CHRS, so their initials spelled their name. They kept that naming scheme when they changed their name. So now it's Phoenix H and Xander, starting with an X, so it's PHNX. So it's still, their initials still spell their first name. Oh, yes. She did laugh, and it was really, like I said, I don't know if you're friends with them on Facebook or not, but she posted about it. I don't think Jenna did. I don't know. I think Jenna commented on it, but yeah, it was hilarious. See, the thing with our group on Facebook is there's basically a core group of us that are spoonies that are friends with everybody else, and it's kind of amusing.
Yeah,
we're like this big clique, and yeah. Yush. And now that I've had to start my freaking profile all over, I'm like, who am I missing? Crap. I may, because I think you and Jenna and Maeve would get along. Trying to remember who all you are friends with. We'll talk later. But yeah, self-care, self-compassion, just compassion. There is a reason that I end my lives with spread love, spread joy, spread kindness. There is far too much hate already out there in this world.
And it's about to get worse.
I know. The fascist Cheeto won the frickin' Republican nomination. Oh my god. He won the Republican nomination. Yep. I've done it a couple of times. Kind of wandered away and then come back. But I've kept like 3 or 4 people that keep dragging me back. I'm not complaining. But yes, especially with this being an election year, we really, really need to focus on that self-care, the compassion, the kindness, and remembering that the politicians, especially the politicians, especially, I want to say the Republicans, especially, because I don't see as much of it from the Democratic side, are trying to divide and conquer. Because I have a feeling the Republicans know that if we come together as a country,
you're dead.
Yeah, we're going to oust them all. And they're going to lose any and all power they have.
They're the minority for a reason.
Yeah.
Because, more people are coming out as independent.
Yep. Leave the kitty alone, Chuck. If we can convince the millennials, the Gen Zs, who I think are millennials, and the Gen Alphas, who are now of age to vote, to get out and vote, they outnumber the boomers.
My dad made message revote.
Good. And if we can get them to vote, we can outvote the boomers. And most of the kids, I hate saying that, millennials aren't kids, but if we can get the Gen Zers out to vote, especially, they are coming out more and more as liberal, well, not conservative. There are some that are conservative. You have your Alex P. Keatons in every generation. I just dated myself so badly.
No, you're fine. In my group, I'm very...
Yeah. For anybody who doesn't know who Alex P. Keaton is, look up the TV show Family Ties, and you'll learn why Michael J. Fox, one of his 2 most famous roles. But you have your uber conservative teenagers or young adults in every generation. And but more and more, as kids are coming up, they are figuring out that treating people like they're human is a good thing.
Human rights are important.
Yes, allowing people to love and marry who they want is important and okay. Letting people be who and what and how they want is important. So basically, transgender rights, LGBTQ rights, women's health care, reproductive rights, social security. Yes.
What happens when you can't work anymore? How you're going to live for yourself?
Yep. Whereas, there are some conservatives out there who honestly feel that people like my husband and me to an extent, although I've gotten a little healthier, and Jenny, who's a Spoonie friend, who are unable to work full time and therefore rely on disability, well, they should just be shuttled off to a home or should just be, killed off, euthanized because, they're not productive members of society anymore.
We do that to dogs.
Yes. Yes.
So imagine if we do that to humans.
That's what they want. I am not kidding. There are people out there who are in the conservative parties who honestly believe that if you are ill enough to be depending on disability services, that you should just be euthanized. And then there are the ones, and I actually have a couple of friends who are this way, and I've ripped into one of them. If you are on disability or state aid, so food stamps, WIC, then you don't deserve to be getting tattoos, piercings.
Yeah, you told me about that.
Yeah, well, tell these guys. If you are on state aid, you should not be getting tattoos, piercings, manicures, pedicures, coffee at a coffee shop,
going out to eat,
cigarettes, booze, or drugs. Oh yeah. Oh yeah.
Or even have pets.
Oh no, pets are okay.
Okay.
But yeah. And I ripped into a friend who posted this meme, and I'm like, okay, let me tell you, I have gotten, in the 3 years that we have been on state assistance, I have gotten 2 tattoos and 2 piercings. None of them were paid for by me. Friend paid for all of them. My cannabis, that's medication that keeps me sane and keeps me from either killing myself or killing someone else. My husband's cigarettes. His doctor straight up told him that with the stress levels in our house, it was wiser for him to continue smoking, or
I know
else,
I'm pretty.
Or else he would, either stroke out from the stress or snap and kill everybody in the house. That's not a very pleasant idea. So we're going to keep him smoking. We don't generally drink, so that's neither here nor there. But I do buy coffee. That's my treat for myself. Not as much as I used to, because now I make it at home more often. Manicures and pedicures. Well, gee, the job I was working, because I was working a job while still receiving benefits. My employee handbook said that corporate preferred that we maintain a manicure and wear makeup every day.
And that is one of the reasons why I got yelled at. I
So,
can't wear makeup.
So my munchkin would pay for me to go get my nails done so that I didn't get written up at work, and also as an excuse to spend some time with mom. So I never paid for my manicures. My hair, y'all see my purple hair.
You gotta keep it maintained.
Yep. It requires maintenance. That requires 2 boxes of bleach, at least 2 bottles of dye, because this is a mixture of 2 colors. That is $18 per box of bleach, 22 bottles per bottle of dye. I didn't pay for that either. Again.
And when you think about it, it's cheaper than actually getting your hair done.
At the salon, yes. If I were going to the salon, this would be a $250 job. So, yeah. But again, the munchkin would pay for it because they would be buying the bleach and dye for their own hair. And they're like, hey, Mom, if I buy the stuff, will you come do my hair and I'll do yours? Sure. So, there's that. And then back to the cigarettes. Nicotine is an appetite suppressant. I know a lot of parents who will smoke and so that they kill their appetite so they keep more food in the house for their kids to eat. My phone is over there because I'm using it. My phone. That is a 6-7-year-old phone at least. Yeah. Let's see, where do the S24s? Yeah, S24s just come out. That's an S10 Plus. Ooh. So that tells you how old that phone is. It needs upgrading. We were going to upgrade right around the time he got fired. So we get our phones on the payment plans. But, you've got to have relatively new tech to be able to continue using it.
Oh, yeah, no, my dad, he just upgraded this from an S9.
Yeah.
So, and his phone, everything just stopped connecting to each other.
Yep. So,
and he's like,
I am so sorry that I don't fit your image of what a poor person should look like. I do still occasionally go out to the movies. Oh my God, I'm poor. I'm going out to the movies. Oh my God, I'm wasting my money. But before you go bitching at people for spending their money on a small luxury, took out of the bedroom. First, make sure they're spending their money. And second, check yourself. Because just because I'm fucking poor does not mean I don't deserve to have dignity and enjoy my fucking life. Just because I'm poor does not mean I should do nothing but work, sleep, and eat. I deserve to have some fun once in a while too. And that is what so many people don't understand. And that goes back to the self-care. As a person who lives below the poverty line, because I do, we are currently surviving on, and I'm going to tell numbers. I make $1,995 a month. That is my sole income. For me, him, and now 3 dogs. My mortgage is $2,300 a month. So, just because I am living below the poverty line, oh, I know it is, Jenny, but I am trying to make a point here. Do I not deserve to enjoy myself? Do I not deserve to look nice and have clothes that are fashionable, kind of trendy, and comfortable? Do I not deserve to have, tech that works and, serves the purpose I need it to? Good. I figured you were, because you're like me. You also are paycheck to paycheck on a good day. And it's one of those things that pisses me the fuck off. And I have to, that's what I have to reel myself back in, ground, center, and do some serious self-care. And it just, people drive me nuts. He's like, I love you.
I know I love you too.
I am going to take a picture of him loving on you and send it to his mommy. Not to his daddy, because daddy is missing him very much badly. So we're not sending pictures until they're asked for. But yeah, you're good.
Dorothy.
He's a doofus. But it's just, it's... People are crazy.
Dogs are crazy.
That too. So, on that note, I think we are going to wrap up.
Love yourself.
Yes, love yourself, love others. I mean, I totally did not think about what I was talking about when I grabbed my shirt, at least not consciously. If you cannot read my shirt, it says love is love. It was Torrid's Pride shirt 3 years ago, I think. But seriously, people, spread love, spread kindness, spread joy. And above all else, please listen to Will Wheaton and obey Wheaton's law. Don't be a dick.
Keep it squatchy.
Yes.
Sorry. That's how they end my podcast.
That works.
And then Sasquatch. I have to. I had
Oh,
to.
yeah, no kidding.
I had
to. Saturday. Oh my god, I totally fucked everything up Saturday.
Okay, I'm gonna make sure that she gets on a set schedule.
Yeah, well, because of the snafu with Facebook, I have lost access to the local group that I was in for women who were trying to make friends, and we were having meetups and everything.
Do I need to?
Yes, I need an invite to that group. I have a witchy meetup set for this Saturday. I fucked up when I scheduled it. I scheduled it for 2:00 in the afternoon this Saturday. What do I usually do at 2:00 in the afternoon on Saturdays?
Supposed to do your thing.
I usually do my yoga class. So what I am planning for this Saturday, I will do yoga at 1 this Saturday. And then as soon as I am done with yoga, I am going to book it for my meetup.
Well, make it at 4 then, because I'm off at 4. So.
If I can get into, I can't until I can't reschedule this one.
Okay.
Because it's scheduled with the other profile. And I don't even know if it's still in the group. I
don't think so. I haven't seen it.
It's possible it's not, because that profile was completely nuked. So, what's up, puppy girl? So, yes, we will be doing yoga at hopefully 1:00 this Saturday. I have plans in my head, so that is on. Tomorrow's Friday. We will do daily draw tomorrow. That is my plan. Today I just crashed hard, and I do apologize for that. So daily draw tomorrow, guided meditation tomorrow night, yoga Saturday, and then we are starting with a new tarot deck next week. I think I'm only going to do this deck for next week, because it's super cheesy, super cute, but I'm dying to play with it. And then we'll go back to one of my other decks. But I'm dying to use this deck and show it to you guys. So please join us next week, and I will see you all then. I love you all. Have a fabulous night.